Welcome to the Happiness Matters podcast with me, your coach, Julia Seal, where we explore the puzzle of whole being happiness as professional women in our midlife, how to coach ourselves and live into the best version of ourselves, resilient, creative, and thriving, no matter what. Hello everyone, and welcome to how to use your body's very own red flags to change your life. Today we're talking the third basic of brain management, the third corner of your midlife happiness jigsaw puzzle, the mind-body connection and your body as brain. We'll look at how to identify your body's red flags, and then we'll explore how to use them in your midlife happiness self-coaching, particularly how to increase your inner confidence, strengthen and speed up your decision-making, and reduce your midlife irritation. In other words, how you can set yourself up with a reliable, intuitive inner guidance system that's already built into you right now. In earlier episodes, I've introduced two of the cornerstone skills of managing your brain on purpose and intentionally, using our midlife brains as the powerful, amazing tools they actually are, your brain's design and mindfulness and meditation. If you're feeling a little bit lost or you're new to the podcast, always remember that you are never lost. Every episode is designed to get you started with your self-coaching and exploring your happiness in midlife. If you do want a map of the journey or an overview of my Happiness Matters jigsaw puzzle of whole being happiness in midlife, please listen to episode 2.1, the overview of series 2, or to episode 2.0, which is the updated trailer for the whole podcast. I do want to remind you before we go any further today about my Happiness Habit Challenge that's currently running. It started this Sunday and it's running for the week until the coming Sunday, so it's not too late for you to sign up and join me. It's a fun week. I'm introducing 8 happiness habits that have made the biggest impact in my own life, and then I also explore 8 ways to keep the habits going beyond just the week. You can sign up for it on Happiness-Matters.coach under the subscribe button, my coaching notes. And once you've signed up, I'll send you a useful little workbook as well as details to where you can find me live on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. To wrap up the Happiness Habit Challenge, I'll be doing a free webinar where I take all these habits, put them together, and explore the powerful skill that I call Midlife Madness, from reactivity to responding. Pretty much what we've been talking about through series 2 so far in brain management, meditation, and now body as brain. It's fun. I'm there to coach you where you want it, and we get to have some midlife growth and evolution together. Now this week's corner puzzle piece is the third, and it introduces the third basic skill in managing your brain to create the life you want, your midlife whole being. It's about your body as brain. It's about the mind-body connection, and yes, believe it or not, your body as your second brain, your body's wisdom, and even your body as your built-in coach. Today is less theoretical. I'll get to the why and how it works in later episodes, but right now I'm going to dive into an actual brain management skill with one of my favorite tools, a meta skill to cultivate and use throughout your life. So not only in the area where you might be struggling right now, but right across your life to enhance your resilience and bring creativity and thriving into your life today. Once you understand this simple coaching tool and start using it in your life, the whole idea of body as brain, body as wisdom will become clearer to you, and you'll be able to begin tapping into the power of your mind-body connection. This tool is one of my favorites, and I use it myself every day. I really do. It's foundational to exploring body as brain in our brain management journey, and I call it your midlife red flag warning system. So red flags, what comes to mind? Some kind of warning for sure, something to do with danger. You'll have encountered some kind of red flag warning system in your life already. In traffic, of course, we've got red lights, or as we call them in South Africa, red robots. In weather reporting, red flags are used to warn of extreme fire potential, where a simple spark can cause a major wildfire. And I'm thinking of all of you in California or Australia. Actually, using red flags to warn of danger were used as far back as 1600 by military forces, indicating they were getting ready for battle, and in some cases to mean the same as the pirates' Jolly Roger, no quarter, take no prisoners, implying no negotiation. If captured, you'd be killed. So pretty serious stuff, these red flags. Now here in Cape Town, they're most often used to indicate a great white shark has been spotted in the last hour and that we're on high alert. An entire flag system tells surfers, swimmers, and paddlers like Fraser and me what's going on in the deep sea underneath us. And of course, our email spam filters red flag things for us to watch out for. So red flags warn us. Their language is built into our understanding already, and we can use this to really help our self-coaching and build our inner happiness. Other than the language of red flags, you have your own inbuilt red flag warning system already. It's your fight or flight, your automatic reactions that kick in during a frightening or stressful situation. We usually think of it as an emotional response, but it's actually very physical. How do you know something is dangerous, unpleasant, scary, not good for you? How do you know it in your body, inside your body? In coaching, this is called your somatic experience of danger, your lived, embodied experience of danger and fear. Let's see if you can tap into it now. How do you know when you're in danger? Some of my danger flags, my breathing is the most noticeable. It's almost as if I stop breathing, as if there's no oxygen, and my chest gets very tight. This is the most powerful flag for me. The other big one is my heartbeat. It speeds up a lot and gets incredibly strong in my chest. Do you experience either of these? What happens to your breath? What about your throat or your stomach? Do you tremble or shake or sweat and get really cold? How about nauseous? All of these physical reactions are triggered when our adrenal glands produce the hormones adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline triggers our body for action by increasing our heart rate and speeding up our breathing, preparing our brain and our body for very quick action. And cortisol inhibits insulin production, so our muscles have immediate energy, which gives us butterflies or makes us feel nauseous. And both hormones work together to increase blood flow to our muscles so that we can fight the danger or fly from it. This is your inbuilt red flag warning system. Get to know it really well. It's a wonderful guide in your self-coaching. So yes, you start developing your red flag warning system for self-coaching by getting to know your own version of flight or fight. The somatic experiences unique to you and how you experience them inside your body. Take some time to think about them in the kind of detail I described for myself. Can you find 10 signals that your body is getting ready for fight or flight? Maybe even before your brain knows it, or your thinking brain knows it, I should say. Now these ones are usually very loud, and you will notice them first when you're in a high stress situation. The fear reaction is our strongest inner signal. A more subtle version of these flags is what we're looking out for next. These subtle signs are your inbuilt red flag warning system for self-coaching throughout your day. They're subtle, quiet indications that something is not quite right for you. They're your red flags, your no's, little signposts on your day's journey. Learning and listening to the subtle somatic experiences of your no's, these quiet red flags, is the beginning of tapping into your body as brain, a foundational skill in harnessing the power of the mind-body connection and the development of somatic wisdom and intuition. What are your subtle indications of your fear response? This is what we're looking for. So, for example, a slight catch in your breath and noticing that you're a little hot, and that's not a hot flush hot. A sinking feeling in your stomach, tiny twinges in your body that don't feel good. Your jaw tightens. A slight wave of nausea moves through you. An eye twitches. As you practice listening to your body and listening for these subtle signals, they'll become clearer and clearer, and you'll be able to catch them earlier and earlier. You might start off knowing about 3 or 4. The more you do it, the more you'll find, and the more subtle they become, and the earlier they're warning you. Then you get to course correct long before you've taken any action out in the world. Let me give you an interesting example. Midlife irritation. Most of us experience heightened irritation during menopause and the years following. Well, that's putting it mildly. How about midlife fury on some days? So much of this irritation has to do with the physical and biochemical changes happening in our bodies and brains. Listen to my episode 1.28 on menopause and women at work. However, we haven't given much thought to the mind-body connection and how this connection is linked to our midlife irritation. Midlife is often the time many women are reckoning with their lives. You've been a caregiver your whole life. Perhaps you're exhausted, resentful of what looks like your life running away from you. Perhaps your self-care has been neglected, or you've given way too much of yourself to your work, to your family, and you're feeling that now is time for you. Irritation in midlife is a physical thing, a biochemical thing, and it's a psychological thing as well. Irritation is often covering up thoughts like this: it's my time now. I'm really not prepared to compromise yet again. I'm going to stand up for myself on this one, and I'm tired of following someone else's way. So what you can do is to use your feelings of irritation in midlife as a red flag that something in your life is off track. Something is not right. You're not going the way you want to. Instead of just giving in to the irritation and simply being reactive, we can look for the subtle messages that our bodies and brains are giving us via the red flag of irritation. Then we can rather choose to respond more skillfully in a way that moves us towards what we truly want in our midlife. When we're attuned to our inner red flag system, whatever the signals are, irritation, breathlessness, and so on, our body will tell us when a situation, a person, an interaction is off. Something is not right. And if we listen to the warning, assess the warning, and then choose to respond skillfully, we're going to be moving step by step to living more in alignment with your best life. So firstly, as I said, start by finding your loud fight or flight flags, 10 or so if you can. Then start looking for the quieter, more subtle red flags that something is not quite right. Irritation is a good one for our midlife, and it might well show up in our lives at other ages, but the physical and biochemical effects of the midlife transition make this a particularly good time to make use of irritation. Exhaustion is also a very good one for many of you. Start building up your red flag system, your own inner reference book. It's like an inner language of the wrong way, the wrong path, unhelpful thought patterns, unhealthy dynamics in relationships. As soon as you become aware of the signals and what they're referring to, you'll find you'll already start making slightly different choices and small changes in your life, reorientating yourselves towards happiness, to feelings of peace or joy or ease. It's almost automatic. Now, it's never that easy. Just a warning, something to be aware of. The body is not always right. And I'll say this again, as it's not what you're hearing in the media these days. The body is not always right, and the brain is not always right. Yes, they are running this incredibly useful red flag system, but They're warning us based on deeply held patterns wired into our brains. These patterns are wiring systems of thoughts, feelings, actions. Your thoughts create everything you ever feel emotionally, and your emotions drive every single action you take in the world. I have spoken about these think, feel, act patterns throughout the podcast, especially in Series 1, but I will be revisiting it in detail in the next episode. Now, many of these patterns may well serve you. The instinct of running from an angry lion, for example. But many of them might not serve you all that well. Avoiding public speaking might have cost you that promotion you really wanted. There are many think, feel, act patterns running our lives. Every thought, every emotion, and every action we take or don't take in the world are part of a think, feel, act pattern, our wiring. And most of these are running our lives on automatic, well below our conscious awareness. Amazing. So the full fear response, if your life partner raises their voice in an argument with you, is probably inappropriate. But perhaps it comes from having a father who shouted and perhaps hit you. So shouting became unsafe for you, and you developed a think, feel, act pattern to keep you safe. Nowadays, your mind-body connection triggers the fear response. So any kind of raised voices will raise the red flag for you all these years later. You might unconsciously react like a child, run away and hide, throw a tantrum, and it might be totally inappropriate for today's situation, for having a robust conversation with your partner today. This complication is the next level of using the red flag warning system, together with understanding our brain's design and working with our primitive and human brains, choosing whether we react or respond with our long-held think, feel, act patterns, which is the topic of the next episode and the fourth corner puzzle piece in your brain management. And it's here that we work if you're coaching with me. Yes, we learn your red flag system at its most obvious, then the subtle signs, and then we learn to assess them and decide on purpose if you want to keep the patterns that drive them, or if you want to unwind unhelpful patterns and rewire your brain and your body. That's the realm of coaching with me, so that you develop a very powerful inner guidance system for no. And then we expand it into a yes system as well. Such fun. So an inner guidance, body as brain system that is deeply connected to the results you want in your life. One that is helpful and creates whole being happiness, that can help you make better and faster decisions, increase your inner confidence, help you prioritize your self-care without falling into the trap of past patterns and hidden reactive patterning. Together, we look at whatever is fearful for you to see if it's only outdated patterning or if it holds the key to your best opportunity of growth and evolution, a keystone to your greatest happiness. So yes, in the next episode, I'll begin our exploration of the fourth and final corner puzzle piece of brain management, these life patterns, the link between your brain and your body and the world that we live in, our think, feel, act patterns, and the self-coaching we can do as we manage our midlife brains to create the lives we want. Now don't forget, everything discussed today is on the website Happiness-Matters.coach, and please do sign up for this week's Happiness Habit Challenge. May you be happy, may you be free. There is no better time to coach together. Bye for now. And of course I'll be doing my autumn sea swims right next to the shark flags.
Thank you for joining us on this Happiness Matters podcast, coaching your whole being happiness in midlife. To join Julia for more of her midlife conversations, subscribe for free to her coaching notes by email and to this podcast. Search for Happiness Matters in Midlife to find us in your favorite podcast player app. Once you're subscribed, Both of these will be delivered to your device automatically. To find all of this, click the subscribe menu of our website, Happiness-Matters.coach. That's Happiness-Matters.coach. COACH. And thanks again for listening.